Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today on New Life Live. I'm Brian Perez here with Sheri Keffer. She's a doctor of marriage and family therapy. How are you, Sheri?
I'm doing well, very well, being with both of you today.
Yes, and the other both of you that Sheri's referring to is Dr. Jacqui Mack-Harris, who is a licensed marriage and family therapist. How are you, Jacqui?
I'm doing well.
Great. Yeah. What's on your mind to start off today's program?
What's on my mind is the mind, thinking, thoughts. I have this verse here that says, "We are human, but we don't wage war as humans do. We use God's mighty weapons, not worldly weapons, to knock down the strongholds of human reasoning and to destroy false arguments. We destroy every proud obstacle that keeps people from knowing God. We capture their rebellious thoughts and teach them to obey Christ. After you've become fully obedient, we will punish everyone who remains disobedient." And I was reading that this morning, and I had the thought, or it made me think about all of the clients that I work with that are have been so harmed by someone else's thought life, because they think a certain way. They put that on someone else. And so often we'll ask people, whose voice is that? You know, when they'll say, "I'm worthless, I'm nothing, I'll never be anything, I'll always feel this way, I can never do anything right, maybe I'm not lovable." I ask, whose voice is that? Because someone has spoken that over you.
Yeah. And
people don't realize how powerful words are. And if you think it's true, then it kind of becomes true. Like Henry Ford, I think it was, said, "If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Mm-hmm. Our thinking is powerful, but every thought that flows through our mind doesn't necessarily mean it's our own. And so we have to take the thoughts captive. We have to look at the thoughts and pay attention to the thinking. Is this thinking beneficial or is it harmful? Is this true or not? And so I encourage people to actually answer questions. Sometimes we have a thought and we stop at "I don't know." And people are so comfortable these days stopping at "I don't know," because we've stopped talking about hard things because we don't want to offend anyone. And I think all that's really done is stopped us from reflecting on what we think and feel and believe. And God wants us to do that. There's many places in Scripture that talks about like sitting with your thoughts and paying attention to the way your thoughts make you behave. And we want people to change and grow and love God, but we put our fears and our worries and our concerns on our children, on our friends, sometimes our spouses, our co-workers, our employees. And I encourage people to think for themselves. And so if I share something with you, I'm going to say, does that resonate? Does that track for you? Like we do here on the show. You have permission to disagree with me. And I think people need to know that that is the case. We had a caller earlier that was going to do some mentoring, and his mom told him she didn't think he should. And that's okay, Mom. Thanks for sharing. But I'm 32 years old and this is what I want to do. And so I just want to encourage people, be okay with your own thoughts and pay attention to how your thoughts make you feel and challenge them. Is that true? And if it's not, throw it out.
I think so often our thoughts, because they're centered in our mind and our brain, and we've been taught from an early age that whatever our brain is what makes us think, and we're smart or whatever. So we think that whatever thoughts are in there must be true because it's what we're thinking, but it may not be the case.
Right.
So let's talk about that. If you've got an issue, whatever it is you're going through, a spiritual, mental, man, we can handle it all here at New Life. We've got so many great calls coming up. We've got PTL, praise the Lord. Paula, Tracy, Lora are all coming up, and Stephanie and anyone else who wants to call in today, 1-800-229-3000 is our number. We'll be right with you.
Early on, looking at pornography that went into affairs, massage parlors, strip clubs with buddies. Before you know it, you're ashamed of that.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity, impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
My wife got a phone call, and she asked me who this person was, and man, how do I get myself out of this one?
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle intensive.
When she said to me, I want you to look at this website named Every Man's Battle, she had me look, and I said, no, this is exactly where I need to be. This is exactly the problems I have, and I'm gonna go.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Denver, Colorado, June 6th through the 8th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Use the discount code NLL to save $50. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Okay, we're going to begin our time on the phones with Paula, calling in from San Antonio, Texas, listening on Sirius XM, channel 131. Hi there, Paula. Tracy, Lora, Stephanie, everyone else, stay on hold. We'll get to you guys as well. But hi there, Paula. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, thanks. How can we help you today?
Well, I have a family member who we have come to realize is narcissistic, and I don't know very much about that, and I would like to know how to best handle her, and also her husband, who's so precious, who has stood by her. She's 85 years old, and so we realize she's not going to change. How do we do this well?
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Well, one, it's great that you guys are learning new things and understanding where she's coming from. There isn't anything you can do with or for her unless she's choosing that. But for yourselves, you can make sure that you're holding good boundaries, that you are not allowing yourself to tolerate disrespectful behavior. And for the husband, if he is being harmed, then somebody should let APS know, and there should be some help coming in to protect him. But it sounds like it's probably emotional, and they often don't do anything about that. But there's without his wanting to get some help, there's not much you can do except for not collude with her. So if she's, bad mouthing him and saying horrible things, you don't join in.
Yes.
You just and you don't necessarily need to get her riled up and argue on his behalf, because that may make things harder for him later in the day. But I just wouldn't join her. I
just change the subject.
I just change the subject, or when I have people do that with me and they maybe crack a snarky joke about the other person, I just give them a flat affect. I don't laugh, I don't smile, and I just wait for them to say something else. And if they catch that, they will say something. They'll call me out about it, like, oh, you don't have a sense of humor or something like that. And I'll say, I just don't think it's funny to talk about people that way. So then I can give them my position, but I often wait for it to be asked for, because the narcissist doesn't necessarily really want to hear anything that they're not choosing. And so I just hold silence. I just hold silence, and I do not collude, and I do not join them in because it just makes them feel like it's okay.
Yeah. Sheri, thoughts?
Yes.
Has this narcissist harmed you?
Not physically, nobody. We've all been kind of played, kind of coming at us with something that isn't how it happened, and then being a martyr.
Yeah.
Little bit, yes, and the disrespect of her husband is constant, and none of us join in. And I have a great relationship with her. I love her so much. We all do. We just realize it is what it is, and I want us to do this really well. And so I really appreciate your advice.
Yeah.
So she hasn't, it sounds like you've got a really great relationship with her. So she hasn't made you a target.
Well, it sounds like
Not
everybody's.
hardly at all.
Yeah, so she's kind of favored you. You may be the chosen frozen, right? You and it's funny because narcissists are always looking for supply. They're always looking for people that are going to feed their ego, that are going to admire them, that are going that are going to make them feel wonderful about themselves. And so if you're that type of person, that you're their muse, right? You end up fanning their flame, their ego. They're going to like to have you around. But this is the thing with narcissists is once you confront them, once you let them know what isn't working in the relationship, once they're challenged and you're no longer that adoring other, the wheels come off the bus and they end up flipping, and it's called a narcissistic discard. They can't get rid of you quick enough, and they replace you. They replace you with another source, and it's decimating. It can feel it's damaging because you've invested all this time with this person and you didn't expect them to flip the script on you, but it's just because you decided to be a self. You decided to push back. You decided to say, I'm not okay with that, or that's hurting me. And they can't tolerate you disagreeing with their image. So
I think it's important for the rest of you to be okay tolerating her upset. If you set a boundary and she does not appreciate that and she gets angry about that, that's okay. We've got to learn not to cower in other people's negative emotion. They get to have their feelings. They get to have their emotions, but those emotions shouldn't manipulate us into behaving in ways we don't want to or tolerating the intolerable. And so for all of you who are loving her and in relationship with her and who have maybe been hurt by her words or her cutoffs or the way, she maybe has discarded other people who have disagreed with her, so it's created some fear for other people to speak up to her. You keep taking care of yourselves and keeping yourselves safe and holding good, firm boundaries in love with her. And I think that's the best way to survive a relationship with a narcissist.
So a resource from the newlife.com store, I was thinking either How We Love or Boundaries. What do you guys say?
I like both of those. I would go with How We Love.
How We Love, okay. And Boundaries is available for purchase on the newlife.com store. Thank you, Paula, for calling in today on New Life Live. And now we're going to go to Tracy in Carroll County, Maryland, who is a new listener. Hi there, Tracy. How did you find out about New Life Live?
Hi. My brother listens to you guys, and he called me and told me that he heard a story that was very similar to mine.
Yeah, this would be from Wednesday's program. What is your story?
I grew up in a very bad situation. Both my parents were abusive, but my father, he physically, emotionally, sexually abused me for the first 26 years of my life.
Oh, and Tracy, so sorry.
I couldn't get away from him because he told me that everybody was against me. And my mom left me there. Everybody was gone. And I ended up having 3 children. And I finally got away with the help of my brother and his wife when I was giving birth to my 3rd child. So I was 26. I'm 54 now. But I got to raise my children. I talked to God all the time growing up because there was one special lady in church when I was 4 that talked to me when I would go in church, and she would say, "There's my beautiful little Tracy," and she would hug me. And that made me realize the difference between good and bad.
Good and bad love and touch.
Good and God is good, the devil's bad. My parents were the devil.
Yeah.
And God was there for me, and I could talk to him, and I would just always say, may your will be done. I know all things come to an end. And I just relied on God. And I'm so thankful that I met that lady.
Yeah, you're such, you have, and you were as a little girl able to decipher the difference between what felt healthy and pure and right and good. And I thank the Lord for that teacher, that Sunday school teacher, that just loved you, and it was pure. Growing up with two parents, Tracy, not just one, but two parents that were abusive. And then, just like Jen, you'll have to listen to Jen on Wednesday. And we even told Jen, we said, Jen, I think you said it, Dr. Jacqui. Jacqui told Jen, she said, you know what, Jen, you have no idea how your story may have touched another person who's listening right now. And guess what, Tracy, that's you. Mm-hmm. Like, you have, your brother heard the story. He thought, I thought we were alone in this. I thought this happened to my sister, and no one else. And so everything we said to Jen, I want you to take in to you as well. But one of the things, so you had 3 children by your dad with your father.
Yes, but they, to me, are gifts from God.
Yeah, of course they are.
Strength, and I never let my brain go to thinking of any of that when I think about my kids.
Yep.
They're your kids.
They're gifts from God.
Do you think your mother knew what was going on?
Yes, my mother knew. Yes, ma'am. She knew, and she was actually sending me in the room with him.
Oh.
She was in the room with him at times. She would say I did things just so he would physically beat me. And, I mean, I always tried to be good and listen, and she called me goody two-shoes and stuff like that. And that, like now, if someone says that I'm perfect or pretty or something, it offends me. Because she used to always say it to me in a very negative way.
Yeah. Have you done, Tracy, have you done any therapy?
Yes, I've been in therapy ever since I got out for 27 years now.
Okay.
Wow.
Same counselor, and we have a wonderful relationship.
You're so brave. Thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Your brother, you were going to say something.
My brother and his wife got me out and took me right to their house, and it was within a week. A counselor came right to the house, and I've been with her ever since.
Wow.
You know, we were thinking earlier, we didn't, when we were doing the other show, and didn't get around to saying it, but it's so important if you are a sibling, a neighbor, a friend, and you know that someone is being harmed, please say something to somebody. Yeah. And exactly. Your brother had probably been looking for a way to rescue you for a while and finally found that opportunity. And so you want to do it safely and so that it doesn't cause more harm to the other person or to yourself. But if you see something, say something.
That's exactly what I was about to say. If you see something, say something. Tracy, what, so how are your kids now? This man, I hate to call him your dad, your father, but what's he up to now, and how are you doing?
He went to prison. Both my parents went to prison for what they did, and he got 45 years. Everything suspended but 15, so he served 15, and now he is a pastor. And my sister-in-law found him online the other day, and it had his name, and it had information of people saying what a good person he was and what a God-fearing man he is. So,
but I bet you they don't know about his past.
Yeah.
Exactly, they don't.
Yeah. He's kind of gone into another community and tried to reinvent himself. And I'm not saying that people can't change, but let me tell you something. If you stand up in a pulpit and you've been a perpetrator of your daughter for over 2 decades, and you've sired 3 children, and your congregation doesn't know about it, you need to sit down.
Yeah.
That's just somebody who is reinventing himself with a false self in order to make other people want him and like him. And it's disgusting, actually. And I just feel for you, because that must feel such trickery.
Yeah. And I feel for the safety of the congregants in that church, too. We've got to take a break. We'll be back here on New Life Live. Tracy, hang on, and everyone else, too.
Restore gave me strength. It gave me more belief in my faith. I met up with a group of women that are going through things that they had no control over.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or a physical affair, or pornography, the Restore Intensive will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
When 2 people want to do their part, we can be restored. But if they don't, we can still be restored. We are not stuck because someone else made a decision. That God lets us weigh in on how we want to walk out our lives. Our wellness does not hinge on another person's decision.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Dallas, Texas, May 2nd through the 4th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
I had a great experience at Restore.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
So, Tracy, thank you for calling in today to New Life Live, and we really encourage you to go back on our archives, our podcast, and listen to the Wednesday episode from April 23rd, because that's the one that your brother heard and told you, hey, you need to call these people because there's somebody else out there who went through the same thing you did, Tracy, and New Life can help you. So we want to send you a 1-year Bible for women. We're going to put that in the mail to you. Thank you for calling in today.
And Brian, I just wanted to throw out there, there was a little mention of nightmares, and I think EMDR could be really helpful with helping her to move through those nightmares and process them. Okay. And we talked about that on that Wednesday show, so she'll get that information.
Yeah, all right. So, Tracy, thank you for calling in today. Now we're going to go to Judy in Cincinnati, listening on WCVX. Hi there, Judy. How can we help you?
Hi. I just had a question about what to do or what to say or the best way to handle a surprising and stunning and shocking situation where originally, a long time ago, 30 years ago, I had a son with a man that I wasn't married to. We were going to get married, but the counselor said this won't work. And I didn't really understand about narcissism or a lot of mind control games and stuff like that, but that's what he was, this father. And we had a son together, and I would just say he is, baby A, and that we didn't get married. And then he met another woman online, and they got married, and he had a second son when our son, A, was about 11 years old, and then he and his new wife moved to Canada, and we live in, like, the Cincinnati area, my son and I, and then he moved to Canada with his new wife and his new baby son, and 17 years went by. This was like in 2008, and 17 years went by, and he pretty much abandoned our son.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got a text message from him yesterday, totally out of the blue, and he was saying how he wanted his son in Canada to connect with our son in, Cincinnati.
So he wants the two boys to connect.
He feels bad about how he the way he talks is like really, it's just really dysfunctional. But he was telling me that, one, he wants his two sons to connect, and two, he's dying of cancer. So I just don't know what to say or how to respond to that. Plus,
yeah, what do you guys think?
My son, with him, he lives in another city, like a couple hours away from me now, and
would he want to reconnect with his father?
It's a really sore spot.
It's a really sore spot.
Well, his dad is saying, I know our son is really angry with me for abandoning him.
Does he? So, are you being asked to be the go-between and to make the connections for them?
Yes. I think he's wanting me to kind of facilitate this whole thing.
How do you want to do that?
If I think it could be a good thing for my son.
Do you think it could be?
I'm wondering about what you guys think about that, because I don't want to cause more pain, but I think at the same time too, I don't know. I just don't know what to think and what to do.
So I have thoughts. My first thought is, I would let your son know about the text, and then he's an adult. Let him choose. I would go no further than that, because the ex is a narcissist, and he's just using the people around him to pull himself up out of his despair, because he's dying of cancer. And yes, because sometimes that is something to draw everybody back in. I saw my husband's biological father be sick for almost a decade, but that kept being used to try to bring all the kids together and to bring them to him, although he had never come to them. And so I just think it's interesting that he sent a text to you to try to fix the relationship between his two sons and himself, rather than him going to his son and doing what he needs to do to repair the relationship and taking some ownership. So I would let the son know, because I wouldn't want to keep that from him, but I wouldn't encourage him in any way, one way or the other. I would just say, hey, your dad sent this text, and then I would be done with it.
Yeah. Sheri, what do you think?
I have one word, 4 letters. User. Because basically, who is it still all about?
Yep.
It's
all about him. Really.
It's all about him. I'm dying of cancer. It's all about me.
I feel bad about the boys not knowing each other.
Yeah. It's all about me. And I want the two boys to be together for me. It has nothing to do with relationship. It has nothing to do with any kind of connection or love or faithfulness or all those things that dads do when they're building connections with their boys. And so I can only imagine why it's a sore spot for your son. Because
right, and that's what I'm saying. Will it hurt him more if I say, your dad wants to connect with you?
No. Because what Jacqui's saying is correct. You just let him know that. You're the messenger.
You're just passing the message
You're
along.
the postage woman.
Yeah.
But just sit with your son as he's going to wrestle with what to do with his deadbeat dad, who's all about himself. That's what narcissists do. Yep.
We have a resource in the newlife.com store called Making Peace with Your Father. Do you think this might be beneficial to the son?
It would be if the son wanted a relationship. With this, I would think boundaries.
Boundaries
for the mom.
Okay. So stay on the phone, Judy. We'll send you a copy of Boundaries, and we'll be back.
Early on, looking at pornography that went into affairs, massage parlors, strip clubs with buddies. Before you know it, you're ashamed of that.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity. Impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
My wife got a phone call, and she asked me who this person was, and man, how do I get myself out of this one?
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle intensive.
When she said to me, I want you to look at this website named Every Man's Battle, she had me look, and I said, no, this is exactly where I need to be. This is exactly the problems I have, and I'm gonna go.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Denver, Colorado, June 6th through the 8th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Use the discount code NLL to save $50. Club New Life changes lives.
I think I go way back to listening to New Life, learning so much from it, and then becoming a Club New Life member.
Club New Life is a monthly giving family that helps New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people.
You know, I'm so thankful because you know why I keep giving? Because I keep learning, and I'm so thankful for all the lives that you touch every day and the people's lives. So when I get to still hear the radio show, it's just so encouraging to my heart.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
And you know one reason I give? Because I feel like sometimes I'm hiding behind a counselor's couch listening to all this great information and not paying, so my guilt of this great advice is alleviated by being a Club New Life member.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. And together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
You may have heard that we are in the middle of a matching gift right now. It is true, up to $500,000. Thanks to all of you who have already given, but to those of you who have not, you have heard all the help that we have offered this week on New Life Live. So won't you give something today? Every little bit counts.
It's all doubled. So
it's all doubled, yeah.
500,000 matching means $1 million for New Life.
Yes.
I just want to make sure to say that because that's like... It's $1 million gift if people just give because it doubles it. So.
So get all the details, make your donation at newlife.com or by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE or text the word match to 28950. Let's help someone else. Here is Serena in Savannah, Georgia, who's listening on a podcast. Hi there, Serena. Welcome to the program.
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Yeah. What's your main question for us today?
My main question is how can... my husband and I help our adult son become more sensitive to other people's social and emotional needs.
How old is your son?
23.
And has he always been unable to track what's going on in the room or social cues?
He is diagnosed with ADD. So that could play a little bit into it.
It could. Has he ever been diagnosed as being on the spectrum at all?
No.
Okay. So I would say model it. We're going to send you a book called How We Love that will just kind of talk about love styles and attachment styles. I would model empathy with him. And verbalize that that's what's happening. If he's not on the spectrum, his ADHD could make him a little aloof, but also I'm curious as to what we mean when we say empathy. And so the best thing is for him to see that playing out and to have seen that playing out throughout his 23 years, where in empathy is where we join somebody in their experience. We use empathetic imagination to just imagine what it must feel like for that other person. But sometimes we're looking for someone to agree or collude with us, and that isn't empathy. And so I think How We Love can help all of you with how you all attach and how you communicate And the comfort circle is a great tool for developing empathy in conversation. And so I think using that as a family could be really helpful. And you all practice it. You and your husband, be overt, be very obvious about your empathy, and so that he can see it in action.
Do you know there's a feeling pillow on Amazon? And it's a circle. It's got all these colors on it and all these feelings. And I would encourage you to go buy it and have it on your couch. Is he living with you?
No.
Okay.
Get him a feeling wheel. You can get the pillow cover. It's a little square.
Yeah.
You can get you can print one out, but you guys need feelings words around him and around you and your husband.
Yeah, because if we don't know feeling words, we're not going to know what we're feeling in order to offer that feeling for somebody else.
Yeah.
So we're going to send you a copy of How We Love Serena. By the way, thank you for being a Club New Life member. We sure do appreciate that monthly support here on New Life Ministries. It helps us to continue doing what it is that we do, which is helping people that are going through life's toughest places, like Lora calling in from Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, listening to us on Sirius XM Channel 131. What's going on with you, Lora?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. My mom is 76 years old, and she lives in Culleoka. That's about 20 miles from where I live. She's got a friend that has moved in with her. Her friend is in her late 40s. Her friend has 2 children. One is 13, and the other one is 15. The 15-year-old made a wreck of the room at my mom's house. My mom let her friend move in with her because she was on the verge of being homeless with her children. So my mom let her in, and the 15-year-old was in the bedroom, and he would take wrappers of paper and bottles of drinks and sodas, cans of sodas into his room. He would not come out of his bedroom for days. My mom decided to go in there to see what the room looked like, basically.
Yeah.
My mom had a meltdown. And she went to go talk to the young man. He cussed my mom out. He decided that she was anything but white. He called her everything but a white woman. My mom told her friend, he's got to go. The friend took her son and took her son to his dad's house. And now the dad doesn't want him. The granddad doesn't want him. He's being passed around like a sack of potatoes. And now my mom is allowing him to move back into her house. I don't know what to do about this situation because my mom is 76.
She's 76.
And I'm afraid he's going to hurt her.
In Tennessee, do you guys have an organization called Adult Protective Services?
Yes.
Give them a call and report that she's being abused when you think she's unsafe and being abused. Because she's not going to choose it. And that would be a way of having someone else come in and take a look at things and see what's going on and keeping her safe. Okay. That would also highlight to her the importance of her safety and let her friend and the kids know that somebody else is watching. So I would make an APS report.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. And that social worker that's going to come in may be able to help her friend figure out what to do with her displacement.
Yes. It's a bad situation, but my mom is a good Christian woman. She's dealing with this as the best way that she can.
So then maybe we should send your mom the book Boundaries.
Okay.
Because you can be a good Christian and still say no.
Yes, and I think that's the fear with a lot of good Christians. They don't want to say no because they think that saying yes is what makes them good Christians.
And we somehow have come to believe that saying no to somebody is mean.
And it's not.
It's not.
Okay, so thanks for calling in today, Lora. We will send you a copy of Boundaries. And now we're going to go to Louisville, Kentucky. Here is Stephanie, who's listening to us on WFPK. Welcome to New Life Live, Stephanie.
Good afternoon.
How can we help you today?
I have a extreme situation here that my family and I have been dealing with for about 2 years, and everybody that knows us and knows the situation says it's about 6 episodes of Dateline NBC. But to cut it short, my son and his wife were married, and she was pregnant with she had her 2 children, was pregnant with the third, and he had an affair and basically left her and the children. They became homeless. He took the children, moved in with a girlfriend. The girlfriend was hitting one of my grandchildren. We filed a CPS report. Actually, we filed 15 different CPS reports, 2 of which were substantiated. They were claims that my daughter had against my son for sexual abuse that they found to be true. And anyway, long story short.
Let me clarify. So you said that your son, it was substantiated that your son sexually abused your daughter. And this
Correct.
is also a problem with the kids being with him. Are they still with him?
Right. Well, I'm going to get to that part here in a second. To get out of the issue of the sexual assault, he moved away, about 12 hours away. Had the children with him. Didn't know where the kids were for a very long time. Hired a private investigator, found them. Wasn't anything that we could do. No attorneys would help us. We paid for attorneys, paid for different people to help. Just like literally nobody could help us or would help us. Long story short, 2 Decembers ago, we get a phone call that my grandson, was on life support, and he'd been beaten to death.
Oh,
and,
my goodness.
Yeah. We had hired attorneys. We had called CPS. We had went in front of a judge. You name it, we did it. And it didn't matter. Yeah. It did not matter. And
so sorry for how the system failed you all.
It's terrible. And so not only that, but then we had to, so then in the meantime,
Stephanie, we're coming up to our break. We'll be back to you in a few minutes, but what is like your main question that we can discuss with you when we come back?
My main question is, I have a lot of anger.
Yeah.
I want people held accountable.
Yeah.
What's the difference between being holding these people accountable and being angry?
Okay, we'll talk about that when we come back here on New Life Live. Thank you so much for calling in today. We have had so many tough questions this week, but we're here to help at New Life Live.
Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learn a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and
it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And back to Stephanie in Louisville, Kentucky. Thank you for sticking through the break there, Stephanie. And so you want to know how it is, what's the difference between anger and like wanting these people to be held accountable? What do you guys say?
I first want to validate your anger. We're angry. So,
Yep.
Yeah. Anger, it's be angry and sin not. Anger isn't the bad thing. It's the sometimes the way that we respond. And so you're wanting to hold people accountable, but also not to do anything that would get you in trouble. And it's unfortunate that the system itself failed your grandkids. The system didn't work the way that we were all told the system would work. And unfortunately, that happens regularly. I would continue to pursue, you could maybe sue the department, sue the county, but that's just more legal expense for you all. But that would be the only way of holding them liable would be to hold them civilly liable for not protecting him. So I don't know if it's the city or the county or how that all works, but you would definitely need to get some legal advice in terms of holding them accountable. But for your own work, like the forgiveness is the freedom, and that's where peace is. And so we're going to be praying for you and praying for your family, that you guys can find some peace. And are there other kids with you or with their mom or not with him?
Yeah, we wound up getting, he's in prison facing first-degree murder.
Okay.
I probably will never see him again. In a state that does have the death penalty, so he is eligible for the death penalty.
This has got to be so hard on you being
it's
his
terrible.
mom. You're the mom and grandmom of all the involved parties. Are you in therapy?
Our whole family's in therapy. The other two children, the one, she was 3, she witnessed a lot of things, and she's just now started talking about them to her therapist. She has PTSD. When she walks into school, she takes off running and hides. She's,
Of course she does.
If a man raises his voice, she just totally loses it. She could be at Walmart and somebody say something loudly, and she freaks out.
Yeah, she's in flight.
But I do have the 2 children. We have, we had to fight the other state for that, more legal fees, and I'm a single mom. All my other kids are raised and out of the house, so I've got, I'm basically starting over with 2 toddlers.
With 2 traumatized toddlers.
Yeah.
Yes, 2 traumatized toddlers. Yes, and I know that a part of me wants to hold people accountable, but then the Christian part of me is like, yeah, but you're not supposed to sue people, and you're not supposed to. I mean, what's the,
There's that whole thing again of how
anybody else.
Yeah.
I don't want this to happen to anybody else. And we did say something, and we did all the things that we were supposed to do, and we fell through the cracks.
Yeah. And this is unjust, right? What we're dealing with here is a lack of justice, and that can just eat away at us inside. I work, Stephanie, with people that have been abused and molested. I work with victims, and I have to I can't even tell you, Stephanie, how many times I have said this in my office. I actually say, I now know why God flooded the earth. When I was a little kid and I grew up and I saw Noah's Ark, I just didn't get it. I just didn't get why God flooded the earth, because of Sodom and Gomorrah. But now, hearing all these stories, I go, I get it, because there's days with what I'm hearing, I want to flood the earth. I have my own set of rage over what's happened and how people have been so deeply harmed, right? You and these precious 2 little toddlers that you're raising. But I also have to remember that we have a God, Jesus, who's very just. Your son's in jail, and my heart breaks that you're the mom of a perpetrator, right? That in itself is just, you are it's horrible. It's horrible. You are the redemption for those kids. You are the redeeming person that God is going to use to restore them. Like, you are a big player in this story. And the Lord God is going to come for you and with you. And Jesus was very clear. And this is going to feel so like split in your mind, as he held up a child when he was giving the talk and said, if anyone harms one of these, the children, right, at the Sermon on the Mount, it'd be better for them to throw themselves in the ocean with a millstone than to have to contend with me. And so sometimes when there's lack of justice, I have conversations with you and others about the fact that there will be ultimate justice, because it's going to eat me alive if I let it. What are your thoughts?
Well, it depends on what day of the week it is.
Yeah. Your tears, they're underneath the anger. This is what needs to happen, sweetheart. There's 1,000 tears inside of you for the hurt, the pain, and the sadness. And this is like, I do believe there's an enemy of this world. There's an enemy, a roaring lion that's seeking to devour. And man, did he just mess up your home.
And you mentioned the scripture or the Bible saying that we shouldn't sue other believers. And when people want to take advantage of and sue frivolously to harm one another, that makes sense. It's a protection, because there are lawsuits that are happening even right now that are just happening to keep people tied up in court, or to keep people wasting their money, because someone is being manipulative and taking advantage. Yes. That's not what you're doing here. You're wanting to hold the system accountable so that this doesn't happen to someone else. Yep. And so I would say sit with that. Go take that to God and see if God continues to prompt you to move forward, or if God continues to alleviate the pain of it all. But go to God, and I would face down in prayer, fasting. God, how would you have me to handle this? Because there's a part of me that wants very much to tell you, let it go, and so that you and those kids can start to heal. But there's also a very big part of me that wants to make sure that that's what God wants, because God may want something else. He may want this to be publicly dealt with, and so that the people who didn't do their jobs learn something from this, and so no other child is murdered by their parent because they didn't get the protection that they should have gotten. And so it's a hard one. Go to God. I would be in deep prayer, and I'll be praying for you too, that God gives you clear indication and opens up doors if he wants you to move forward with lawsuit, that he puts the people in your path that can help you accomplish that and opens those doors, or that he takes the desire and the anger and the want to sue away so that you can start to live in some peace.
And my last thought is maybe go to Dateline and see if they'd be willing to do a sequel on holding people accountable. Maybe they will fund it. Maybe they will walk it out with you.
What resource can we send her from the store? There's so much that we can send her. Also want to let everyone know that life recovery isn't just for people struggling with drugs and alcohol. It's for everyone. It's a 12-step program based on a set of biblical principles in addiction treatment that outline a course of action to tackle problems. And we all have problems in life. For some, maybe it is drugs and alcohol. For others, it might be overeating, sex addiction, codependency, anxiety, issues with boundaries, lying, people-pleasing. You can find out more at liferecoverygroups.com.
We voted how we love our kids.
How we love our kids. We're going to send that to you. Stephanie, thank you for calling in today on New Life Live. God bless you all. We'll see you at church this Sunday.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you. But you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.